Good afternoon, all. I'm thankful to KIET Group of Institutes for organizing this important webinar on Ek-Prayaas to save the youth against tobacco outrage. Thanks for inviting me. Next. So my topic for today is a new threat, electronic cigarettes, or as it is popularly called as vaping. I'm Dr. Rakesh Gupta. I'm president of SIPHER. Next. And these are the common types of electronic cigarettes which are available in the market. So some of them, they may mimic normal tobacco cigarettes. And some of them, they look like flash drives. This is the popular brand by the name of Juul. Next. So electronic devices, these electronic cigarettes, they contain this cartridge which contains nicotine dissolved in propylene glycol. Then it has got heater which vaporizes the nicotine. Then this is the sensor that detects when smoker that takes a drag, and then there's a microprocessor which controls heat and light, and then this is battery. This is the LED light. So when you smoke electronic cigarettes, it produces very thick smoke as well as the light at one end. Next. So as a state nodal officer for tobacco control, I went to University of California, San Francisco in June 12 for a training on tobacco industry documents. So Professor Stan Glantz, he conducted that course, and he told us in 2012 that public health specialists, they are worried about this menace of the electronic cigarettes in US. And you can imagine this was 10 years ago. Next. So immediately after coming back, so I impressed upon Ministry of Health to conduct a consultation on electronic cigarettes. It was held, and immediately after the consultation, we got it banned in Punjab in 2013 under Drug and Cosmetic Act. Next. So regular monthly monitoring of ends or electronic cigarettes that was done at the state level and as well as at the district levels. Next. So the Ministry of Health, they again held a meeting in the month of July 2014 under chairpersonship of Additional Secretary, Madam Shakuntala Gamblin. And three subgroups were created. One was legal, one was health and advocacy, and another was public opinion. Next. So what happened was in World Lung Conference, Barcelona 2014, our Honorable Health Minister, he was Dr. Harshvardhan at that time, he declared that when he goes back to India, he will ban the electronic cigarettes. And you can well imagine the might of tobacco industry or the vape industry that they got him shifted to another ministry. And ITC, that Indian Tobacco Company, which is the main tobacco company in India, they gained a lot on change of guard in health ministry. Next. But we continue to work in Punjab, and first conviction for e-cigarettes was in 2013. And e-cigarette seller was jailed for 3 years and also fined. Next. Then we continue to implement the ban on electronic cigarettes under Drug and Cosmetic Act in the districts, and raids were conducted by drug inspectors primarily. Next. To counter the government, to counter the sale on e-commerce sites, Punjab government that issued a demi-official letter to cybercrime cell regarding the sale of electronic cigarettes. Next. The cybercrime cell, they issued awareness notice to 26 e-commerce sites that were selling electronic cigarettes, and letter was sent to these sites regarding blocking or banning the sale of electronic cigarettes. And luckily for us that no e-commerce sites used to sell electronic cigarettes in Punjab with the pin code of Punjab. Next. So this was awareness notice which was issued by the cybercrime cell. Next. So circular was issued by the government of Punjab regarding declaration of manufacture and sale of hens as illegal. It was a reiteration of the earlier notice. So this was done in 2016. Next. So this was the public health advisory which was issued against electronic cigarettes and report on e-cigarettes. It was a community health threat, warning citizens to the toxicity of the electronic cigarettes. Commissioner FDA, on advice of the state drug controller, they said that it has been observed that there's a lot of misinformation about electronic cigarettes, and that is why citizens, they were advised to avoid the use of e-cigarettes and keep them away from children of all ages. And this, it also said that studies find a significant rise in electronic cigarettes use each year, especially among the young adults and teens. Likewise, the e-cigarettes they use among teens has surged. The e-cigarette cartridges and e-liquid bottles, they are not equipped with the child resistant caps. They often leak and create poisoning, risk of ingestion or by the skin or by eye contact. And it also said that these products are not safe. And highlights of the report was that exposure to nicotine during adolescence that can harm brain development. E-cigarettes do not emit a harmless water vapor, rather it contains thick smoke and it contains 10 chemicals which can be harmful. It can lead to cancer, birth defects also. E-cigarettes, they are not FDA approved cessation devices. This is the main thing in the advisory, that these are not FDA approved cessation aids. Electronic cigarettes are being openly advertised on internet social network with false claims that these are tobacco cessation devices and they are less harmful than cigarettes. So this advisory, I think it contains everything which was mentioned in the white paper of the ICMR. Next. So in the meantime, a second conviction for e-cigarettes was done in Sangrur with 3 years of imprisonment and 55,000 as fine under Drug and Cosmetic Act. Next. So in 2017, what happened was that we have a group of anti-tobacco activists, and we came to know that Vape Expo is being held in Noida, UP. And immediately some of our members who were very close to the Ministry of Health officials and the bureaucrats and the politicians, they ensured that it was banned. So Vape Expo, it did not happen in 2017. Next. So the vape industry or the tobacco industry was rattled by this act, and they created and they got active in media and social media in favor of ends, and they also held meetings with the politicians. Next. So a PIL was filed in Delhi High Court, and court asked MOHFW to file an affidavit regarding action taken against ends, whether banning or regulating. So Ministry of Health, they issued an advisory to all the states and the union territories to get these harmful products, electronic cigarettes and even heat not burn devices, and that should be banned under Drug and Cosmetic Act. Next. Next, please. Next. So this is an advisory that continues, and it says that these e-cigarettes, heat not burn devices, vape, shisha, e-nicotine flavored hookah, and the like devices that enable nicotine delivery, they are not sold, including online sale, and they should not be allowed to be manufactured, distributed, traded, imported, and advertised in their jurisdiction, except for the purpose and in the manner and to the extent as may be approved under Drug and Cosmetic Act. So this was a very important advisory, and on the basis of this advisory, at least by 2018 and 2019, almost 18 states or union territories, they had already banned electronic cigarettes. Some of them even banned under Poison Act. Next. So the comments of tobacco industry after the advisory, so it was clear that they don't like such advisories, and they issued some articles in papers, and they even created some studies in favor of the electronic cigarettes. Next. So this was the office order from Punjab government. So this was again issued after that advisory. Next. So this was the Surgeon General's advisory of the US. It also mentioned that electronic cigarettes, they are very harmful products and they should not be promoted, and the youth should stay away from the electronic cigarettes. Next. And the side effects of the electronic cigarettes or the nicotine, I may tell you that nicotine is, it's almost pure, but it contains propylene glycol in the electronic cigarettes, which is a very harmful product. And in low doses even, it could cause nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, and even eye irritation. And in high doses, it could lead to cardiovascular issues like tachycardia, high blood pressure, seizure, coma, and even death. And the side effects also include cancer-causing. It includes cancer-causing substances called as nitrosamines. And another issue was the explosion of the batteries, and it could lead to injuries and even death of the persons who were involved. Next. And in addition to that, I may tell you that during the COVID times, so there was spread of the disease EVALI that was that affected lungs of the patients who were using electronic cigarettes, and it led to death of hundreds of people in US. So this UK report, which said that it is 95% safe, so it was not based on a very solid evidence. The UK report claiming e-cigarette 95% safer than cigarettes. It was based on an industry-linked report which questioned the Public Health England scientific credibility. Next. So the American Heart Association, they also told about the harmful effects of the cardiovascular effects of the electronic cigarettes, and these links are available. This PowerPoint will be available for all of you to see, and you can just open the links if anybody is interested. Next. So these are the pulmonary effects. It leads to that very popularly called as the popcorn lung disease, and it can also lead to COPD and cystic fibrosis. Next. So this was the ANS ban in India, the journey from 12 to 2019. I've already told most of the things about it. After the advisory, an ordinance was issued against electronic cigarettes in September, and ultimately in December, on December 5th, a law was enacted which was called as PICA 2019 Act. Next. So this was the white paper which was issued by the ICMR, and I told you that the advisory we issued in Punjab way back in 2015 or 16. So it contains almost the same things as mentioned in the ICMR white paper. Next. So a major pushback from tobacco industry was done to scuttle the process of this enactment of the PICA Act. And the Bombay High Court that stayed the seizure of an e-cigarette consignment, relying on March 2019 Delhi High Court order. So we had to face a lot of problems with the tobacco industry. Next. But because our leadership was strong and our the scientific people, the researchers, they had very strong evidences. So this act was passed in December 2019, and it was called as Prohibition of Electronic Cigarettes Production, Manufacture, Import, Export, Transport, Sale, Distribution, Storage, and Advertisement Act. So in short form, it was called as PICA 2019. So this was the process which was followed. Next. So as I've already told you that production, manufacture, import, export, transport, sale, distribution, storage, and advertisement is all banned. And it also contains the ban on heat, not burn products. Next. So the challenges and the tobacco industry interference, as always with the tobacco also, we always face tobacco industry interference. And social media, especially Twitter, newspaper articles, they were full of articles supporting ends. Next. So how we address these challenges? By sound preparation on ground level. All important stakeholders were involved. All three expert subgroups were actively engaged. There was support by the supporting evidences in the form of white paper by ICMR, which was quite extensive. And key officials like DG ICMR and Director AIMS Delhi, they were involved. Civil societies were very active. So these were the ways we address the challenges of the tobacco industry interference. Next. And role of these civil service organizations or the NGOs were very important. Media and communication campaigns were held, and messaging focused on countering industry marketing tactics to promote ends. They were exposed. And CSOs, they highlighted the health harms, the global best practices of anti-regulation ban. And I may tell you that now, at present, more than 40 countries, they have already banned electronic cigarettes. Next. So we were led by a very able and very passionate leader, PM Modi. And in Man Ki Baat also, he talked about the electronic cigarette harms and why these were banned. Next. So our finance minister Sitaraman also spearheaded this campaign against the electronic cigarettes. And the provision for imprisonment were their first violation, 1 year fine, 1 year imprisonment and 1 lakh fine. And storage of electronic cigarettes, that also leads to 6 months of jail term and penalty of up to 50,000 or even both. Next. So Mike Bloomberg, he congratulated PM Modi for banning electronic cigarettes, and even WHO Southeast Asia. So they also congratulated India for banning electronic cigarettes. Next. So these were the articles in the media from PM side, then from the side of the HM, Harshvardhan. He also told in detail about why we banned electronic cigarettes. Next, please. So factors for success were strong leadership, robust NTCP, strong subnational efforts for banning electronic cigarettes even prior to the enactment of the PICA 2019. Proactive judiciary, evidence-based policy making, WHO, FCTC, and COP decisions were there for our support. Research and evidence sharing from other countries was done. And the focus was on protecting youth, because you know that nicotine is a very addictive product. And once you start taking this nicotine, there's no end to it. And as we all know that cessation, tobacco cessation is also very difficult. Next. So these were some of the critical learnings that comprehensive electronic, the e-ban, comprehensive ban should be there, and support from the scientific community has to be there. Active action by the civil society should be there. Political support has to be there, and there should be good leadership from the Ministry of Health, which is the nodal agency actually, and strong tobacco control program at subnational level. So that is required. So these were the critical learnings for us. Next. So DO letters were issued to the civil surgeons and even to the DGPs. Next, please. So this was to enforce ban on ends as per PICA 2019 provisions. Next, please. Even a DO letter was issued to the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Next, please. This was basically to ban the sale on e-commerce sites. So SIPHER also conducted a national consultation and enforcement of ENS ban in India. That was in June 2021, because we were not able to enforce PICA 2019. And it was still it still is easily available at kiosks, at the points of sale, and even e-commerce sites. Then again, next. So last month also we held a national consultation on why ends ban in India and 40 plus other countries, and how Prohibition of Electronic Cigarette Act 2019 can be effectively enforced. Next, please. So on the basis of these consultations, some recommendations were sent to the Ministry of Health and other stakeholder ministries. Next, please. So state governments, they were also sent some recommendations. Next. So Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, they were told to enforce ban on the sale of electronic cigarettes and advertisement of electronic cigarettes on e-commerce sites. And Ministry of Home Affairs was told that raids should be conducted by authorized enforcement agencies and integrate PCARD 19 violations with monitoring COTPA for better compliance, and to notify important officers up to the rank of sub-inspectors and above in the sales tax department, in the health department, and in the transport department. And they were also asked to frame appropriate guidelines, elucidated the process for the prompt, complete, and irretrievable disposal of the stock of electronic cigarettes, because that is must. Because when we seize some product, it has to be destroyed also as per the central or the state pollution board protocols. Next. And I may tell you that Director of Revenue Intelligence, they did a commendable job for seizing electronic cigarettes, and stock worth 68 crore was seized by Director of Revenue Intelligence in Gujarat alone. So thank you all, and I am really hopeful that youth, they will now come to know that electronic cigarettes, they are not to be used in any case, because they are very addictive and harmful also. And the tobacco cessation specialists, they will also know that electronic cigarettes, they should not be prescribed as cessation devices, because we have FDA approved pharmacotherapy as well as nicotine replacement therapy. So thanks a lot. Thank you.